Hey, this is John Acuff, and I'm really excited that you're working through and focusing on the September-January challenge. Some of you will recognize this piece of paper. This is what we've been talking about and working on. So I'm really excited that this is the video portion. I'm going to do 3 videos. This is the first video, and hopefully it's encouraging and builds on some of the ideas that I've emailed you about. I've already sent you a bunch of emails. We're kind of at the middle-ish point of the month. And I know what that means for a lot of people. For a lot of people, it means you've already stopped. I only know that because that's how perfectionism works. You see, when you miss a day, when you miss 2 days, there's this voice in your head that kicks on and goes, hey, it's not perfect. You missed a day. You might as well go ahead and give up. That's how perfectionism works. It says, hey, you don't have a shot at it being amazing anymore, so you should go ahead and just wrap up the whole thing. It's kind of what happens when you have a French fry. Like I don't know how you're wired, but a lot of us are wired that if we have a French fry, it's like, well, I've had one. I should have 100. I should have 1,000. And that's what perfectionism tells you. I see this all the time. The people with the messiest cars, the people that have the messiest offices where you work are often perfectionists. And you go, but aren't they type A? Aren't they neat freaks? They are, but if they can't clean their office down to like the toothbrush level, they won't even start. They've got like empty water bottles and coffee cups and a possum family in the corner. I call the big one Bitey. They don't even start. People that are perfectionists will tell me, I'm going to try to run 5 miles every day, but I only have time for 3 today, so I'm going to do 0. And I want to say, hey, you know, 0 is a lot smaller than 3. Like 3 would be okay, but perfectionism gets in there. And a perfectionist would rather get a 0 than a C-. If it can't be perfect, they're not going to do it. So I guarantee that many of you, it's already not been perfect. Maybe you're looking at this going, I've got a perfect streak. I'm amazing. You're crazy. But for the majority of us, especially a couple weeks into a 30-day challenge, we've already dropped the ball a bit. We've missed something. So if that's you, and I believe it is, I want to give you 3 things you can do. 3 easy things you can do to beat back perfectionism and to get back on the September-January challenge. I wrote a ton about perfectionism. I researched perfectionism in my book, Finish. It's my latest book. And so I'm going to share some ideas. Number 1, don't mourn what's lost, celebrate what's left. Let me say that again. Don't mourn what's lost, celebrate what's left. See, perfectionism will say, oh, it's the middle of the month. I wasted 2 weeks, or I lost 10 days, or maybe yours is even bigger than that. Maybe you've always wanted to write a book, and perfectionism says it would have been easier in your 20s, or you should have done it last year, and you mourn wasted time versus looking at, wow, I still have a couple weeks left, or more than that, in this year, I still have a couple months. Or I might even have years left on this ability for me to do something. So don't over-focus on what's been lost. Maybe it was time. Maybe there's some opportunity that you still kind of romanticize. Like if this had happened, then all these other things would happen. Don't mourn what's lost. Celebrate what's left. You and I still have X amount of days in the month. You and I still have X amount of months in the year. There's still time left. Don't get stuck on what's lost. Celebrate what's left. The second is reduce your goal. As you look down at your goal, as you think through your goal, don't hold the rest of the month to the whole goal. If you miss some days, that's fine. Adjust the goal. We like to think that like once a goal is written down, it's in stone. I can never touch it again. It's been carved in the annals of history. You can 100% change your goal. You can 100% edit it, make it smaller, make it different, tweak it, pivot it. You better, by the way. Like things are going to happen during your month you didn't see coming, so change it accordingly. And that might mean you reduce it. It might mean you go, you know what? I had all these big plans for September. And I thought the first week would be like this and the second week. And I had a couple days that got knocked off schedule, like maybe for a variety of reasons. And so I can't do the same goal the way I wanted it to, so I'm going to reduce it. The second tip, if you want to beat back perfectionism, is reduce the goal. This is your permission. And let me say, when you go to reduce it, perfectionism is going to say to you, you're lazy. That doesn't count. Other people aren't reducing their goals. That's nonsense. Everybody has permission to reduce their goal if the circumstances demand it. The third thing I'd say is do one small thing. One small thing. Like if you've fallen off the horse, like you don't have to win the Kentucky Derby tomorrow. Like where does it say getting back on the horse is you like racing away at 1,000 miles per hour? I don't even know if horses do 1,000 miles per hour. You can tell I live in Nashville, not Kentucky. If I lived in Kentucky, I'd probably be able to tell you, well, most gallop at this speed if they're Arabian. I don't know. I have zero horse knowledge. But I know that if you're trying to get restarted, if you're trying to continue in the middle of a challenge, one small thing can help. We've talked about that before. Find one win. What's one small thing you can do? Maybe you want to write. It doesn't mean you have to write 2 hours to get back. Maybe it means you write 10 minutes. Maybe you write 30 minutes. It can be something small. If you're trying to lose weight, maybe it isn't, okay, I'm going to do intermittent fasting for the next 9 months, and here's what it's going to look like. Maybe it means you eat one normal item instead of another one. Maybe that's what it means for you. So as you look at your schedule, as you look at your goal, as you look at your month, those are the three things I want you to do. Number one, don't mourn what's lost. Celebrate what's left. You have time left. Number two, reduce the goal. It's okay to reduce the goal. And number three, do one thing today that moves that goal a little bit forward. So I hope you enjoyed video one. Keep an eye out for video two. Thank you so much for trying the challenge. I hope you're checking off days. And again, if you want deeper information about perfectionism and how to beat it, right here, check out Finish.